last year?
No.
Watch this. Let's get him!
That was something, right? Yeah, Angel does it again. Don't be sad. This is just how it works out sometimes.
That's 2. Come on, let's get him.
Oops. That's 3.
Alright people, so since the Battlefield 6 reveal trailer is within pissing distance right now, and the entire Battlefield 6 reveal, because that's pretty much what it's going to be called, is Battlefield 6, and honestly, it doesn't make any remote sense how it's called Battlefield 6 after Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, then 2042. Oh geez, you think that EA don't know how to make any games? It seems like they can't fucking count either. I think now is a very appropriate time for me to talk about the Battlefield 6 reveal as a whole, Battlefield 6 as a whole, and what to expect going into the open beta after my experience playing Battlefield LAVS. Yes, your boy was invited to play Battlefield 6 early and was a guinea pig for the Battlefield LAVS playtest about a couple months ago. I still don't understand how they even found out that I was going to be leaving the same exact day they send my doggone invite out. As I'm leaving my driveway in my car, I get an email telling me to download Battlefield LAVS. I still don't understand how they even found out that I was leaving. Then I finally figured it out after talking to Kenny the other day. Like, they actually were spying on my damn ass. The damn gardener down the block that always posts up down the block when they're doing the neighbor's yard down the street. That was them the whole entire time. They have a clear bead on my doggone house. Now that I had to address that itty bitty little concern out of the doggone way, I did have a very good time on the Battlefield LAVS playtest. Now, for obvious reasons, I cannot specifically show you like footage of Battlefield 6, or I should say a disclaimer, whatever alleged footage I apparently have, I don't have, because I do not want to get sued or anything along those lines. But I'm also saying that that footage does not exist. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's how plausible deniability works. I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer, and you're not a lawyer. You can't tell me how it works. But the first thing that I really want to address is that with this Battlefield 6 being on the horizon, y'all better not get excited for this doggone game. And what do I mean by that is because EA has a very, very bad history, especially in the EA and Battlefield department. They have a very bad history of putting out trailers that make the game look better than it actually is. And then when the game comes out or the beta comes out, it's a completely different game, or the game is complete garbage. Case in point, Battlefield 2042. That game was supposed to be a return to form, slightly futuristic, almost like Battlefield's version of Black Ops 2, I guess, is if I can give an accurate comparison to Battlefield 2042. But the problem is that they made the game look way too good for what it actually was with the trailers. Because when the trailers dropped and the reveal trailer dropped, like, we had like so much stuff in that trailer. They had like Renazooks, where a famous Battlefield 3 clip where a guy, I'll bring it up on screen, where a guy jumped out of a jet, like shot another jet that was chasing him with an RPG, jumped in the jet again, and then they recreated that in the doggone trailer. Then they also had the operators or dog tags making a return. Dog tags was not in Battlefield 2042. Yeah, you could choose your own custom dog tag, but when you go to knife an enemy, like, you can't snatch their dog tags from off their neck like a fucking rapper does trying to snatch another rapper's chain.
My grandmama gave me this chain.
And then guess what? When the next trailer after the official reveal came out for 2042, then they put out another trailer that was actually representative of what the game actually was.
What a time to be alive!
What a time to be alive.
Mischievous and deceitful, chicanerous and deplorable.
And I mean, it was so nerdy, corny, and it was just a damn lame-ass trailer and a lame-ass game, really. And let me re-emphasize and let me reiterate how greedy and how incompetent EA is, because you want to know what they want now with Battlefield 6? They're fully expecting, not wanting, but expecting 100 million players across the span of the launch of Battlefield 6 to its end cycle to reach 100 million different players. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are going to be thinking. Well, Trey, there's about 8 billion people out in the world. Surely reaching 100 million players in the total span of Battlefield 6 could be reachable, right? Well, yes and no. Yes, on paper and in the academic sense, it's reachable, but you gotta also say no, because this is EA that we're talking about, and EA can fuck up a cup of coffee. And then I remind you that EA has not been able to put out arguably a good Battlefield game in more than a decade since Battlefield 1. Some can argue and say Battlefield 5, but to me it was full of fake history, DEI pushing agendas, and it's an overall game that is overall fundamentally doesn't really feel like a Battlefield game, considering that it's the second World War game that they had in a row and people were sick and tired of World War games. And need I also remind everybody the abysmal launch and the overall clown show that was Battlefield 2042 with the game and the overall innovations, quote unquote, I'm using that very loosely, of 2042, and how it regressed more than 2 decades, if we're going to be honest here, with how they wanted to advertise this game as a Battlefield game, but is missing basic common sense features like a scoreboard at launch. That one, I can't emphasize that one enough. A FPS game without a scoreboard. So let me get this straight. Not only do they want us to pre-order this doggone game, Battlefield 6, after the 2 consecutive bad launches and bad Battlefield games that we had in the past decade since Battlefield 1, but they also want to reach insane, unfeasible, yet unreachable player numbers after breaking the community's trust not once, not twice, but upwards of 5 or 6 times. Basically, they want to have their cake and eat it too, but guess what? The scale doesn't agree with them. And at one point or a time, back in the day when Call of Duty was arguably at its low point, well, now it's at a newest low point, but that's neither here nor there. Back in the day, Battlefield was kicking Call of Duty's ass back in the day. And this 100 player expectation number that they want to reach with Battlefield 6, back in the day, this number was not only reachable, but at the same time, it was feasible. But that doggone wasp's nest inside of Andrew Wilson's head, yes, the dude that looks like Homelander in The Boys, decided that it would be a good idea to not only copy Call of Duty's footsteps word for word by trying to put out a Battlefield game every single year, it's while on top of Battlefield 4 not even being fully finished. Battlefield 1, I thought I saw somewhere, and I'm pretty sure I can bring it up right now, that at one point or another, Battlefield 1 alone reached over 30 million different players around the world. And that was when Battlefield was at its peak. But now that the trust has long since been gone with Battlefield, when I tell you people do not trust EA to do the simplest of tasks, I wouldn't even trust these niggas to fold my damn drawers in the morning.
Damn.
That's how bad Battlefield and EA has gotten over the years, and it's only somehow, some way getting worse. And on top of that, not only is that number not reachable with EA, but the developers that's also making the game is outright telling EA that this number is not feasible. It's not. But no, EA is more concerned about pleasing shareholders and catering to their shareholders. Like I told you before, these people that's running these gaming studios these days, especially at EA, don't have no brain whatsoever. It's ran by a sea sponge. They can and will copy their competition to no avail, and of course, they'll also fold like a cheap IKEA lawn chair in the process while doing it. And there's also drama going on inside the camp at EA and the Battlefield team as a whole, which is really derived of 4 or 5 different studios, you know, that's uniquely working on their own thing. Like Criterion is working on Need for Speed, and Ridgeline Games, I think, is working on Apex, and then DICE with Battlefield, and then there's another one. I can't remember the other one. But there's already drama internally regarding, I think it was Ridgeline Games that got shut down, and they were the ones working on the campaign, but then they not salvaging any of the campaign that they worked on originally, and then now they're not only scrapping the whole entire campaign project, but they're having Criterion start over from scratch. All while in the same window, they want to release this game in either November or December of this year. And if you tell me right now, this is how it starts. This is exactly how this doggone bullshit starts with EA. Because now they only have, I think from when the news broke, I think they only have like really 3 or so months to really design the campaign, or at least finish the campaign. And you can obviously tell that this campaign is going to be rushed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm going to save it for a whole nother video on how this doggone bullshit is starting with EA. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to be here all day. I got other things to talk about. And not only that, the game was utterly broken. Remember when that garbage ass beta for 2042 came out, and literally me and everybody and their mother was telling EA to delay this game so they could finish it, or at least like change some stuff around because people wasn't having it? They doubled down and released it the same year anyway. Now me personally, I'm not pre-ordering this damn game. I don't care how good this game is. I don't care my time that I enjoyed on Battlefield Labs is, or what the fun that I had on Battlefield Labs when I got invited to the playtest. I am not pre-ordering this doggone game because, for one, we was playing a pre-alpha build or alpha build. Now, over the course of my time playing on the labs for the Memorial Day, I think it was, the game has obviously gotten better, and they have had multiple playtests in between now and then. But the issue is, the game is still unfinished. It's about to have an open beta. This open beta is pretty much a demo. And the demo for games is pretty much going to be exactly how it is in the demo. It's going to more or less, 9 times out of 10, be exactly how it is when the actual game comes out with the 1.0 update. But there's a couple things that I need to address regarding Battlefield 6 as a whole. Now, first thing first, I had to make a list. I had to make like a long, concrete list of my findings and everything that I wanted to write down in this video, so that way I can give you guys a quick and easy to digest summary of my said findings. Now, first thing first, the one thing that I gotta address to you guys as well is that we also know that it's gonna be called Battlefield 6 because people like XFactor and Doom49 got care packages sent early to them in anticipation of the Battlefield 6 reveal, and Doom49 accidentally leaked it on the internet on accident. I don't know how you do that. I'm pretty certain somewhere along the lines, as they were sending Doom49 and telling him that they're going to send him a random care package, like anticipation for Battlefield 6, I'm pretty certain that there was something along the lines of they cannot reveal this or they can't show it until like the reveal trailer comes out. I'm dead certain of it. And then not only that, they also gotten invitations. According to XFactor, they're also sending out invitations for Battlefield content creators like XFactor, like Doom49. I'm assuming and hoping NeebsGaming, because they didn't even get invited to the last doggone Battlefield reveal trailer or reveal party. I don't even think they even had one.
This bus, when's it coming?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, no. No. You leaving?
Yeah.
Come on. We just got here.
The game's broken.
I know it's broken, but we can't give up on it this soon.
That's what I do. I'm a give up soon guy.
Guys, look, let me level with you. My wife only lets me get 1 game a year, and I saw the marketing, and I fell for it, and I need friends to play with me.
That's a very important detail that I had to address before I get into my actual list. But without further ado, here's what I've found myself, and here's what I've actually come to list together in a Google document, which is also known as my list for this video.
This is good because I could barely read, so I like looking at pictures better, you know?
So first thing first, Battlefield 6 will come with a scoreboard at launch and will show your deaths, assists, and kills all in one scoreboard. So thank God we actually have a scoreboard at the beginning of a Battlefield game. It's a miracle, you guys. It's a miracle. DICE and EA finally figured out how to do their job. Now, from the playtest that I've been a part of. Now, in terms of bugs, it's not a Battlefield game without bugs. I'm just gonna let that be known right now. So there's bugs galore in this doggone game. There was invisible glitches, turning invisible, guns cutting, the sounds of the guns cutting out, explosions cutting out, enemies when they kill you, they just stay highlighted in place. There's too much lag. It could be a server thing, but then again, if knowing EA's rubber banding issue, it probably might be a deeper rooted issue in terms of that they probably need to fix. But then there's also missing textures, placeholder textures, gun attachments not showing up, especially in the menus and in the game. So that's a few things that I've noticed, to say the least. In terms of hit registration, the hit registration is probably some of the best hit registration I've seen in a while in any FPS game, because in the early stages of any FPS game with me, like, the hit registration is either hit and miss. It can either be perfect or really bad. There's no in-betweens. Right now, I feel like they have a good common ground for the hit registration, and some weapons does feel fast and have a fast time to kill. But that's come to be expected, especially in FPS games when you have SMGs like having fast times to kill, even at medium ranges. So I'll probably cut them some slack there. They probably just have to do a little bit more balancing issues. Probably have to give more bullet spread. I don't know. Now, some ARs and some carbines that I've played with feel like bullet sponges. Now, what I mean by that is, it takes like 5 or 6 shots to drop somebody at a good medium range. You know what the range that ARs are meant and designed for. So I feel like that they need to do some fixes with that. In terms of the netcode, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It needs some serious work. It needs some serious tuning up and serious refining, because it's ridiculous. Because somehow, some way, since Battlefield 3, this has been a problem, and the engine has only gotten arguably worse as time progressed. Because let's be honest, nobody at EA knows how to use the Frostbite engine. But the netcode overall feels very BF4. When the beta came out for BF4, it feels like that type of netcode at its buggy release. Now, there's a little bit of rubber banding in there, but still, that I'm pretty certain it could be finished before the open beta comes out, but I wouldn't hold your breath there. In terms of the gameplay, the movement, here's what I'm going to basically say about the movement. Fluidity. And Battlefield 6 does have it. It does have it. Now, the movement, it feels very weighty. It doesn't feel like Call of Duty at all, where you're light on your feet, even with 50 pounds of gear on. Like, you feel heavy and you feel stiff, but then you can still maneuver around just a little bit if you know what you're doing. Now, a lot of people have basically complained about it being too fast or whatever, but that's basically Battlefield fans have Stockholm Syndrome and they don't know what they want. But the best way that I can basically describe it is Battlefield 5's movement. You can't tell Battlefield 1 and 5 apart, considering that the naming system doesn't make any sense, but I digress. So basically, Battlefield 5 movement, but it's more refined, and like they added in a bunch of other stuff like dragging down friendlies and reviving them if you're a medic, which is something that was supposed to be in Battlefield 5, and I would assume Battlefield 2042 if it had more time, but it was originally cut out of Battlefield 5 for whatever reason. But overall, the gameplay from what I've seen is basically like Battlefield 3 / Battlefield 4 as a base, in terms of modern day shooters, a modern day FPS game. And it has Bad Company 1 and 2 style destruction, Battlefield 1 graphics and war immersion and atmosphere, and Battlefield 5's movement. So combine that all together, you're going to get Battlefield 6, which to me still doesn't make any sense for the naming system, but whatever. Leaning is in this game. Like I said, the soldiers feel very weighty and heavy. It actually feels like they're carrying around 50 pounds of armor and gear laying around. The sound design is arguably at its best since Battlefield 1 / Battlefield 5. You can hear the gunshots in the background, like bullets whizzing past you, explosions, soldiers yelling and cursing their asses off. And I'll also say this, the graphics look amazing, and honestly, the game is actually optimized. I wish I can show you how well the game is optimized already in the alpha state, but honestly, it's gonna get this video taken down, and I don't want that, and I need to get paid for the month. So basically, what I can basically say is that it's basically like Battlefield 4 on PC, ultra maxed out settings, with the updated modernism of Battlefield 1's graphics on PC. And as usual, tanks are still very OP, but that's come to be expected because it's Battlefield. Tanks and, you know, armored LAVs usually run lobbies if you have the right people that know what they're doing. And the other thing that I also need to address is that they also included resupply stations. Now, this is a feature that I think was in Battlefield. It was either in Battlefield 1 or it was in Battlefield 5. I can't necessarily remember right now, but it was one of those two games. And then the other thing that I also got to basically complain about right now at this juncture is that revive icons. Now, I mainly played support and more specifically a support medic. Now, of course, you can't play support with you throwing ammo bags down, but I played support, medic, and reviving and healing my teammates. Now, with the revive icons, they need some serious work because the green IV pulse symbols show up for your squad mates, no problem. But if you have someone that isn't in your squad and is a teammate and they're down, it has a tiny blue dot as they're on the ground. So you can't tell if they're alive or dead or not. So that's something that they also need to address. Now, classes, I'm not going to get into classes right now, but I just have 3 very important things to discuss. Now, for example, classes are returning, but how they're going about the class systems with the assault engineer support and the recons, they need to seriously reconsider this before releasing this game. Now, number 1, medics are not a part of the assault class anymore. It's now in the support class. That's number 1. Number 2, snipers have an overkill perk like in Call of Duty, which this needs to be addressed and it needs to be abolished immediately. You want to know why? Because they also have like a leveling perk system where I think it's sort of like a passive level up ultimate system. Think of it like the ultimate in Marvel Rivals, or like a game akin to Marvel Rivals with an operator. Now, they have level 1 abilities, level 2 abilities, level 3, and then I'm assuming an ultimate ability overall. Now, what that means is that from what I last touched upon, somebody is going to have to correct me down in the comments, but the recons can also not only put down a spawn beacon at wherever they're camping at, because in Battlefield games, recons just camp at the back of the map, not contributing anything useful nor helpful to their doggone teammates. That's number 1. And then they can have respawn beacons for themselves. And then number 2, they can also have a perk that if they land a headshot with a sniping gun, that means you can't get revived. Now, that's gonna be, and they're also gonna have an unlimited. I almost forgot to mention that. They're also going to have an unlimited ammo perk as well, or like access to unlimited ammo somewhere along those lines of either the perk system or the resupplying system that they have with the support class. So that needs to be abolished and it needs to be addressed immediately. Now, other Call of Duty, Battlefield YouTubers, I don't know why I was thinking of Call of Duty, I don't know. Anyways, other Battlefield YouTubers have addressed this problem and addressed this very vocally, and I will commend them for that. Now, they can make videos and probably have already made videos way better than probably I ever will. But so I suggest going and watching the top Battlefield guys to see their opinion and to know exactly the rundown for that. Now, the other thing is that the class systems, the weapons is not locked to classes. Everybody can run around with any gun they want, and that's a huge problem. Number 1, if there's a meta gun, there's always going to be people like using that meta gun because they can't use anything else, or they're not skilled with any other gun, and they want to get farm kills so they can go on a 40-2 kill streak and post it to YouTube for the garbage ass YouTube channel. I'm not throwing any shade, I'm just saying. So that means you're going to have assault classes that's pretty much going to be on the front lines, quick sniping like it's MLG Pro 2012 again. And they also have access to med pens, so it's going to be even more annoying to kill them. And they're going to maneuver a lot quicker than any other class in the game. So that's going to open up Pandora's box already with that. Which is why I'm going to also emphasize that they need to go back to the Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4 class locking weapon system so we don't have this problem at launch. And while we're on the subject of weapons, there's a total of 52 weapons right now at this juncture of Battlefield 6's early build of the game. Now, compared to 2042's abysmal, like 20-something weapons total that it had in the launch and in the beta, And I think now it's only like close to, I think the number is close to 40. But comparing that to Battlefield 4's, I think somewhere along the lines of like 90 to 120 weapons total. And we're talking like anywhere from 10 to 15 guns per category. This is obviously a start, but then the one thing that I will complain about is that they do not have my doggone Deagle 44 or Deagle 50 AE in the game. Now, I'm dead certain that it will come back, and I'm glad, and I really appreciate that they brought my SCAR back, because you give me a SCAR in an FPS game, I'm going on a rampage. You can't stop me in lobbies with a SCAR. But I'm dead certain that they will be saving that for the seasons and, of course, the battle passes and all that garbage. But that's another thing I also wanted to address. And in terms of the guns in general, there is a lot of guns. Now, I believe the guns that I used was a SCAR L, the SCAR Close Quarters, the M4A1, and I think it was the ACWFR, I think. But then here's also another thing that is very interesting and caught my eye. In my build that I played, there's a 100-point attachment system in Battlefield 6. What that means is, think of it like the Pick 10 system in Black Ops 2. Like, see, even now, they're trying to mix me up now with this doggone thing. They want to be Call of Duty so bad that I can't tell the difference now. But think of it like the Black Ops 2 or the Call of Duty Black Ops Pick 10 system, where you can have like a certain amount of attachments, or out of the 10, you can choose all of that for your attachments and run around with no perks. But this time, you're going to have 100 points, and each attachment for your gun is going to equal up to 100 points or round up to 100 points. So you actually have to be very mindful and take into consideration what map you're playing, like what type of enemies you're dealing with, like if it's close quarters or if it's an open field or like an open battlefield or not, into your attachment loadout. Which honestly, they may have to redefine that a little bit more for balancing reasons. For one reason is because they also have mag catchers and they also have bullet types again. So bullet types like hollows, FMJs, flak jackets, and like regular types of bullets, like that can play into a serious factor. Now, of course, I think that they're going to have to balance it at one point or another, but that's also another point that I also have to address. Now, in conclusion, now I'm just pretty much going to round it up for the long or the short of it, because this video is long enough as it is. Now, the game right now is in great shape, at least from the build that I played. And if you guys are optimistic about that or are doubting my words, like, trust me, when you get into the open beta, you'll see what I mean. The game is in far better shape than what I originally thought that it would ever be. Now, it still has a lot of time to be polished, and I'm not saying that it's finished, but it has serious potential and is shaping up to be better than Battlefield 2042 ever will be in every single way and or form. And I forgot to mention, when I played the pre-alpha on PC, I'm running a 4070 Ti with an i7-10700K with 32 gigabytes of RAM, and it was installed on an SSD. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to recommend that you download this game on an SSD, because if EA now has a bad habit of making their games optimized for SSDs, but not optimized for hard drives in any sense of the word. So that's another thing that you also have to be mindful of. But the game was seriously optimized, and I ran it at 1440p the entire duration, and I was getting close to 90 frames with DLSS on balance the whole entire time. So they're really pulling out all the big guns for this. The destruction is very good. Of course, like I said, Battlefield Bad Company level destruction, and more importantly, it genuinely feels like a Battlefield game and not a Call of Duty clone. Now, here's the cons that I'm also going to have to address. The class system needs to be more, I would say, they need to give a better second look and better judgment call regarding the class system. Class weapons needs to be locked down tighter than a bank safe. Optimization needs to also have some final tweaks. It's not perfect, but it still needs to be tweaked and ironed out. Bugs and netcode need some serious ironing out. Voice lines needs to be seriously overhauled as well, because the voice lines, I know that a lot of the stuff is placeholder and they're still recording all of the voice lines as we speak, but some of the voice lines is not it. It's not it, to say the least. And more importantly, they need to rework the perks, especially for the snipers, because I am not trying to deal with some camping degenerate at the back of the map, farming kills, not contributing anything to their doggone teammate for the whole entire fit 15 to 30 minutes of a Battlefield conquest map. Oh, this shit is a fucking wind-up, isn't it, bruh? It's a wind-up, bruh. I need to fucking cool off, bruh. But overall, here's what I'm also gonna end off with this note. Y'all can get excited for Battlefield 6. I'm not saying that y'all should or shouldn't. At this juncture, Call of Duty is in an undesirable state. They want to be Fortnite so doggone bad, and they want to appeal to children so bad. So this is Battlefield's second layup attempt. They had a wide open dunk on Vanguard with 2042, and somehow they missed that. I genuinely don't know how. So with people not having it with Call of Duty, this can be Battlefield's chance to shine and be a serious, actually serious, down-to-earth, grounded FPS game, and not trying to appeal to little kids that want to spend nothing but V-Bucks on Fortnite all day. I would say keep y'all expectations low. If the trailer comes out, y'all can get excited for it, but do not pre-order. Whatever you do, do not pre-order this game. Whatever you do, wait for the beta to come out. Wait until the release. Wait for the more reputable YouTubers and Battlefield YouTubers and reputable sources have to say about the game at its current state at that juncture of all junctures when the game release, and then make a decision for yourself if you're going to pick it up. Now, me personally, I'm going to wait for people like Penguin Zero or Mudahar or NeebsGaming or Doom49 or XFactor or Level Cap to give their reviews on the game, even Enders as well. I'll wait for them to give their opinion on the game first before I even decide to purchase it for my PC and or my PlayStation 5. Because I have a PS5 Pro, they're saying that it's really good on the PS5 Pro at its current state, but who knows? Who knows? So, looks can be deceiving, and their trailers can be nothing short of clickbait. That's all I'm simply saying. So, we'll see what type of big guns they're bringing off of Battlefield 6. Let me know what y'all think about this video down in the comments down below. I had to re-record this video a second time because the first video I went too in depth and I was yapping forever. I still might use some of the audio from that footage or that recording that I sat down with my script and my list, but we'll see. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comments down below. Let me know what y'all thinking about Battlefield 6 at this juncture. And I'm out, bro. Deuces.